Okay, so like I said, we are on week 6 of the alphabet primer. So I'm going to, because we had a break, I'm actually going to work backwards. We're going to review week 1, 2, 3, 4 quickly, and then till we get to our new lesson, which is 6. And then we will go into a couple other things, including a another way that you can help work on remembering the Hebrew alphabet. But I do want to say one thing. I'll say it again. Do not worry if you don't have it completely memorized. And what I mean by that is if I circle this letter and say, hey, what is this letter? And it's Tav, and you don't know that it's Tav right off the bat. As we begin to work with the words, you will start to get it. So, and then I will give you little clues like this has the toe or it's a T sound, or we'll make it work. But let's review this to see where we're at. So here was week 1. So we have Mem, Tav, Hey, Aleph, and Noon. And then we have our 2 primary sets of vowels. It doesn't like me, apparently. Hit the wrong button. Sorry, guys. Okay. And we have our 2 sets of vowels, our AH vowels, which are our Ahs. And we have the Assam, the Kamats, the Hataf Patak, which is the super short one, and the Patak. Now, I'm going to break in and say one thing to remind everyone too. We learn Hebrew, or I like to teach Hebrew what I call in circles. So especially when we get to the vowels, this is the way we teach it in the very beginning. And then when you get to a certain level, there's some more nuance to it. And then when you get to the advanced level, there's even more nuance. So in the very beginning, when you see these vowels, they're all Ahs. The same thing on this side with the A vowels, the A, E, H vowels. When you see these vowels, they're all EH. We do know we have learned about the silent shva, but we'll talk about that later. So Mem, Tav, Hey, Aleph, and Nun. Okay, our second week we had Resh, Lamed, Dalet, Shin, and we have final Mem. And then we have our O vowels, our Olam Vav, which is over our head. Like if you have a ball that says oh no, that's the Vav, it's a vowel holder. And then our just O over our head. Just think of a ball. If it's going to hit you in the head, you're probably going to be, oh, okay. And then our A, which goes underneath our EH, like eggs in a basket. So there's 3 more vowels that we learned there. And all these sounds make the sound of the letter. So ra, la, da, shin. This is a little bit different. The dots on this part of the crown, and mem. Okay. Now, go up. Yep, week 3. Okay. Week 3, we had bet, and it had this this shape. It kind of looks like a resh on top of a line, and there's a dot in it. And when it has the dot, it has a b sound. B. Think of it as a ball inside bet that you're spinning out. And the same thing with this kaf. I always make this shape with my hand. The kaf has a dot in it. And whenever you have a dot, you always want to hit that letter harder because it's like you're going to spit it out. So kaf. Otherwise, it's kaf. It's not as much to spit out. Like bet, b, hard B. You want to get that ball out, bet. Whereas vet is just a soft. So there's nothing really to force anything out. Those are called plosives. You don't have to know that unless that plosive helps you understand that those are hard letters. Okay. We have het, and that's the one that people remember, like chala. That's the gargle one. Het. In the beginning, when you're learning, I often have you do the more het. If you went to Israel, though, remember, it might be like you hardly would tell. But in the beginning, I have you do it because I don't know if you know the difference between chet and hey if you don't do the chet. Okay. Here's vav. Again, we talked about vav being a vowel holder. And was our first final letter, which was a final vav. And again, a final letter is just a different form of the letter that comes at the end of the word. Okay. And then we had some more vowels. We had our oo. So that was a vav, our vowel holder vav. And it's like a dot in the stomach. And if you think of getting hit in the stomach, you got hit in the stomach with a ball, you'd say ooh. Like if a ball hits you, you go ooh. And then this is where we talked about in the middle here, our shava. We talked about it being a syllable breaker in silent. And as we get going in this next set of courses, you're going to have a chart that'll help tell you when is this silent, when is this make an E sound. So we're going to help you with that. But just let you know that sometimes it doesn't do anything. It's just a syllable breaker. And then we have, oh, go ahead.
So was that the Shurek, the one that's ooh?
This ooh?
Yeah, is that the Shurek? Is that what it's called? Shurek? The ooh sound?
Yeah.
Shriek. I'm sorry, shriek.
Yeah. Hold on. All of a sudden I just had a brain fade. Hold on a second. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. I just forgot what I was going to call it. Let me see here. I'm so sorry. Sari, Segol, Bob. Nope, it's not there. I believe you're right, but all of a sudden, or Hirik, we call it. But no, so Hirik is down here. There, I knew I had it wrong. That is a.
There it is again. The one in the upper left. Yeah, that one.
Okay, that's Olam Vav, and this is Olam, and this is Kibbutz, and this is the eggs in a basket is Segol. That's Segol.
Oh, so if it's on top, it's an Olam Vav. But what if it's a little bit lower, like in this?
Right. And I have to laugh because I just forgot the name. That's what I'm saying. I have to go, and I don't have it on here. I forgot the name. So I'm going to go get it. Hold on a second here. Let me go get it. I feel terrible. The name just, it has to be. Isn't that terrible? I really apologize. All of a sudden, here's the vol reference chart. Okay, let me share this tab instead. Oh, I feel terrible. Okay, here we go. That is called brain fade, guys.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yes.
Sharuk or Shriek?
Yeah. So, Sharuk, some people call it Sharuk. So I say this is Holam or Holam Vav. So Holam Vav, Shva, Segol, Sari, Patak, Kamatz, then Kataf, Kamatz, Kataf, Pataks. Sharik is the single dot because I also call it Hirik. It's the single dot. Hataf, Segol, Kibbutz, and Shurik, or so it is more Shurik, not Hirik. Like this, the single dot, I'll say Hirik, and this is, I'll say Shurik. I'll have more of an S. Okay. So yes, you were absolutely correct, and I feel terrible. It just all of a sudden I couldn't remember that one.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get them straight in my head too. It's a little challenging with all the vowels.
And I'm going to show you a video later that may help that you can work on. And also, as we start the beginning of reading and understanding words, I'm definitely going to be saying, okay, this is a mem with a kamatz, and this is a vav, and now you have a tet with a this, and then so you'll hear me say the names of the vowels over and over again, because there's no way after a while here. I think that's Donald. Hold on a second. Him. After a while, it's too hard for me to do the sign language thing. Do you know what I mean? So I'll do the names over and over and over again. So you will get it. I promise you. So let's go back to this one now that I messed it up. I'm just sorry. Once in a while I get brain fog. It just probably stayed up too long last night reading. Okay, so the review. So I'll make you guys sick. So the Sharuk, and then we've got so then now week 4, just really quick, we have the Zion. and the gimel. And the gimel is a hard G sound. The samik, just a regular S. So remember, we have two ways to say regular S. And we have one way to do SH. So the shin letter that's got like the crown on it, that letter is only, it can be a sh, s, but it can be a sh as well. But samik is only a straight S. It's only s. There's no other pronunciation for it. So samik usually always comes in the middle of the letter as well. You'll find that. I don't know that I even know a word that it comes in the beginning. But every time I say I don't know of a word, somebody points out a word that I didn't realize. So now we have pay and fay. These are a set of look-alike letters. So we talked about like bet and vet are looking letters, pay and fay are look-alike letters. And in the next week, the next class, we're going to do look-alike letters. We're going to put them all together, show you the differences, and then just be aware of those letters that kind of can trip people up. And again, a lot of times the look-alike letters, the only difference is a dot. So pay, again, is the plosive p, and then when it's not, it's a f. So a lot of people, when they think of fay, they think of, like, if you think of the word phone, ph, phone, or f, I don't know that it really makes a difference. Sometimes people say that it's easier for them to remember if they think of phone ph, not f. I just teach my kids and usually my adults as just straight f, because it honestly really sounds the same. And then we have the kibbutz, the kibbutz down here, which is the oo, the long oo. And I always say if you're falling down the stairs and you're teetering at the top, you're going to say ooh, but otherwise it's like blue, whatever. Ooh. Kids try to be a ghost, they say ooh. Okay, week 5. Now, week 5, I just want to point out again, ayin. Ayin looks like a Y, and sometimes you will hear me say the Y, and I always have to correct myself. It is ayin. And ayin kind of somewhat resembles sadi, and we'll just go over those. But ayin is always laying down on its side. Again, look, if you think of ayin, it's a mom or a dad sitting on a chair, and the kids sitting on their lap, and they're looking at each other. So so ayin is sitting, and when you see a sadi, it kneels. So all I can say is ayin. If it looks like two people, like there's a little kid standing on their parent's lap, that's ayin. And if it looks like somebody's on their knees, it's sadi. So there's ayin. Here's tet. Again, so we have two ways again of saying the letter T. It's tet, which is just the standard T. And then remember, we have tav, the one that has the toe. The good news is since Hebrew is already written, we don't have to know why they did that. We just have to know what it does. So because there's many reasons why they say they may do that, but no one really knows why we have the letters that we have. Okay, here's again the vet. This is not the plosive, so vet is its cousin, but this is the V, the vet. So there's two ways of doing the V sound. V again is vav, and vav can be a sound and a vowel holder, and vet here is just the letter V. Okay, so that's just one thing to note about it. Again, no big deal. And then because it'll make sense later. So when I say no big deal, I just mean don't worry, you will get it. In fact, this is one of the first letters that you will clear up right away. Then we have yod, which is like a Y sound. So yod is little, and as you notice, it never touches the ground. It's kind of like a up in the air comma, and it just makes a simple Y. And then now this is what I call a fake final. It's the ak final. And there is some controversy whether, like, if you know the word Noah, right? Well, in Hebrew, Noah spells and it looks like Noach, and you have one of these at the end. So there's a little bit of a controversy. In the old days, they would teach people that it's Noach. And a lot of times now they're teaching people that it's Noah. So the more modern Israel, they would teach people Noah, and you don't have to say that Ak at the end. But if you're an old timer, learning from an old timer, you might know it as Noach. Or think of like Patak. That's when some people use that Ak at the end. It's a Kaf with an A at the end. And it's just because the way we do Hebrew letters, it just sometimes people would read it the other way, Ka'ah, and it's not, it's Ak. So, but we'll get into that more. Okay, here are our letters today. So we have, this needs to be moved. Sorry, this is over on this side. This shin, the dot has to be on the first one. My slide, it moved a little. So Kaf. So we'll start with Kaf. Okay, Kaf is your K sound. I know it looks like a P. Some people, for some reason, can say, hey, it looks like a P, so it's the K. That's a way of them remembering it, but it's just a K sound. Straight K, K. So if you think of it, we have Kaf, which is that looks like that C. And then we have the dot, Ka, okay? And then we have Kaf, or Kuf. Some people say this is Kuf. But if you notice, that K sound is pretty much the same again. So again, we have a very close way of saying the letter K in two different forms. I can tell you for certain in the back, in the old days, this was definitely always the harder K. So if you had a K, 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 this was the hardest K. Now things change a little, but it's Kaf or Kuf, however you say it. But it's just a straight K sound. Okay. Sin, like I said, the dot is on this first one, not this leg. I apologize. And that's a S. That's your S. So remember, we learned Samic. That's a S. And this is a S here. Now, Shin and Sin. So this is Shin, the way it's shown here, the SH sound. And Sin is on this side where my cursor is. I don't know if you can see my cursor or not. This is the most popular S. You will see Sin and Shin the most popular to make an S sound. However, what you won't find is like I said, a lot of times, I don't know if I know, like Samic is the only word where the Samic starts in the beginning of the word. Usually words will start with sin or shin. So if it's an S sound, there's simka, which is a word in the Torah or the Bible that means like rejoice or happiness or joy. And that is that would be with one of these words. Okay, now remember how we said this is kuf or kaf, depending on how you say it. It's the k sound. This is, remember, we had the kaf with the dot in it, and that was the kaf where you said it really hard. This is the haf, and it's not as hard. Okay, so again, a lot of the words sound the same, and in the ancient days they had more distinction between these letters, and today we don't. And here's the sadi. So I explained it kind of looks like an ayin on the top, but the difference is the sadi is on its knees. So if you look on this side, the mom or dad is here and the baby's sitting on their stomach, but they're on their knees. So if that helps, great. If not, I'm not sure what other, but it's bent and it's kneeling. Whereas the ayin, oh, go ahead.
How would you pronounce the sadi as a consonant if it's in a word?
Oh, great question. So one of the words that you're going to learn is charity. It's in the Bible all the time. And that word is tzedakah. And so it's, think of putting a T and an S together. So tzedakah. Okay. And it's a hard combination to get in the beginning. Also, someone who is a learned good man would be called a sadiq. And it's TS, sadiq. So that's the best way to look at it that way. It's TS, Sadi.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very
Great.
much.
These are great questions. Thank you. Sometimes I get going and I forget that you need to know how to say this. So again, Kuf is the K, Sin is the Sh, and it have the dot here. Kaf is Chaf, and then Sadi, it's so Ha. Again, you will, once we get to words, some of these will make way more sense to you. And it's frustrating, I know. Okay, let's go down. Okay, so now here's the kicker. And we're going to go into these more this session. So don't totally worry about it. But some words have final letters. Madison, you ask, why do you need a final letter? And I can tell you, I don't know, really, because we don't totally know. But I can tell you that when you're reading the Torah, or if you were to read the Hebrew Bible or your Old Testament from a Torah scroll, that final letter tells you when that word ends. And it's a very helpful visual to know where the word ends. Because remember, the original Hebrew Bible, the original Christian Old Testament, was the same book, and they did not use periods or exclamation points or commas or vowels, right? And so one of the ways to know whether a word ended or not is some of these had a final letter. Now, there's many different ways. People have talked about the etymology of the Hebrew language and the different forms it went through to get to where it is. So I would say I always pick the simplest answer, and the simple answer is when you're reading it from the Torah itself, sometimes you don't know where the word ends, and these final forms help to know where the word ends. Because otherwise, if you put a kaf here at the end of a word, you're going to expect a vowel. But there is no vowel. So they had to have a way to have this word at the end, okay, where you didn't need a vowel, okay? And that's a more complicated thing to show, but once you see the word, you'll get it. So we have, go ahead.
If they say soffit, that means it's like final.
Yes. So if it says well, here, let me use this example, fe, okay? So they'll say fe solfit. Or here they'll say sadi sofit, okay? And then they'll say kaf or kaf sofit. And all the sofit means is a final. That's it. And one of the ways that I can help you, I don't know if anybody is familiar with parts of a house, but if you think you have soffits on your house that hang off your roof a little bit, they stick out. The soffit, sofit here, actually sticks out a little bit. They're always longer. They go behind the line. So if you think about the soffits help seal your roof, these kind of help seal the end of your word. If that helps you to remember them, great. If it doesn't, someday I'll figure out a better way. My first husband used to do construction, and when I had to do roofs, that's where I came up with that. So it's amazing what you do when you don't want a roof and you're trying to think of anything else. So, but it's yes, fe final or fe sofit. Sadi final or sadi sofit. Same thing. Kaf final, kaf sofit. So those are the sofit letters we have. Those are the finals, and we will go over those again. They make the same. Oh, that's important to know. They make the same sound. So the kaf has some interesting things we'll learn about it. The way the vowels work at the end. The sadi, it's usually all by itself at the end. There's no vowels. The same thing with final fe. There's no vowels. There's some other finals. And normally finals do not have vowels. It just really ends the word. And that kind of is a signal to you that, hey, except for a couple things, you're not going to be looking for another vowel. And that's important to know. When we learn how to break up words into consonants and consonant vowel consonants, That's important because not only does it tell you how to spell the word, how to say the word, but say you're in your Bible and you want to know what this word means, okay? You need to know what are the prefixes, what are the infixes, and what is the middle root or shorashim or group in the middle, because that's going to tell you what you need to look up to figure out what this word means. So if you have a word called ahava, which is love, ahava's love, and then you have a word viahafta, which is a V in the beginning, okay? So that V means something to love. So it means something to love. And then you have viahafta at the end. There's an infix, and that usually always tells you, is it he loves, she loves, we love, they love, and so that's why we're going to break apart a word in this next section so you understand what is the stuff in the beginning, what does it mean, and what do I need to look for? How does the guts of the word work? And then what do I have to pay attention at the end of the word? We're going to learn that when you have a new at the end of the word, the sound new at the end of the word, that means ours, everybody, you all, everyone all together. So we'll learn all those things a little bit at a time. So, but I just want to let you know these finals are the marker that says, hey, this word is over. Don't expect any more vowels. Now, in Hebrew, there's always exceptions, and the final cough is one of them, but it's a very easy one. So, okay. Is everyone okay with me so far? Does anybody have any questions about the review and what we learned for week 6 so far? Okay, good. Naomi, you're all set. Yatina, you're good. Okay.
I have a question. So
Sure.
if when you mentioned the cough, if it has the little dot, it's a hard K. If it doesn't have the dot, then is it more like a throat sound?
Okay. So, okay. I don't want you to confuse
Uh-huh.
let me share the screen quick. Okay.
Am I confusing two different letters?
No, you're not yet, and I want to make sure you don't. So that's why I'm stopping to look here. Okay. So here's our cough and our cough. Can everybody see the two I'm looking for? And so what you said is absolutely true. Cough and cough. Okay. And it is kind of a CH sound, but don't confuse it with, this is the chet, okay? And
Yeah.
you definitely want that chala sound to definitely be there.
Yeah.
The cough, sometimes do you notice I just did it now?
Yeah.
And we were learning a long time ago to go cough and CHAF, cough. And so sometimes when us Jews who've been doing this a long time, try to do the cough, we end up making it sound too much like a chet.
Oh.
And it doesn't really have to be as gargly as that.
Just a little bit gargly. Just a little.
Yes, exactly. So I just wanted to know the difference. Like when I want you to say challah, I want to hear challah, like challah in the beginning, because I want to know that that's not challah, it's challah. So then you know the difference between the het and the hey. But this cough and cough, really the difference is versus ch, cough. A very, very light, like here, let me say it one more time. Cough, like coal. This would be in the word coal or key. Okay, there's Jewish words coal and key, and this is the first letter. Or chaf, meaning okay, in English we would say chaff. Remember in the Bible we talk about the chaff, right? We get the weed and we get rid of the chaff, and we want to get rid of the chaff. Yes. And that would be more of what we're looking at here.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
That is a great question. So, okay, now let's share this tab instead. Okay. So we went through all these. Okay, now. Okay, again, so kuf, shin, kaf, and sadi. And again, sadi's on their knees, right? So we did the finals, kaf, sadi, and fe. Okay, the kaf looks like a K, sounds like a K. Well, it doesn't look like a K, I mean, sounds like a K. Okay, I still, like I said, I have never found a way to remember cough very good. One of your reference sheets does have a way, but I don't think it's good, so I don't put it in there. So if you think of something great, sin, why do I keep doing that? I think, just so you know, guys, when you do Hebrew letters on Microsoft or Google, you always have to put your dots in separately and things never stay. So this is the sh, and then the s goes over here. So it's actually supposed to be moved over. So, okay.
But
So this, yep.
isn't it correct? Like the sin has the dot in the furthest left? No? Are you saying it shouldn't be there?
I thought I did it backwards today.
Because I have some charts and the shin has it in the extreme right, the sin on the extreme left. So I think you got it right.
Did I have it right? And I'm just having a brain fade. Like I said, I should not
I'm
teach when
looking
I'm
at the chart,
exhausted.
so I'm cheating a little bit because I
No,
don't.
you're right. I did it right. So I shouldn't question myself. That is sin. You're right. Sin, IH. Yeah, you're right. Shin and sin. I did it right. Okay. You're right. It's on the vol reference sheet. Cut rate labor teacher today. Sorry, I apologize, guys. I won't read till 4 a.m. next time. Okay, so let me go back to here. I apologize. So it is right. I did it right. Okay, so sin is first, and then, oh yeah, because it spells high backwards. S-H and I. Okay, it is right. Oh well, I'm gonna go home. Okay, so sha is the dot is on the right is sha. If I would have turned one more, I would have had it right. And sa, the dot is on the left, and it's just it's S or SH. Okay, here's our cough. Okay, we talked about that. I always say it's a backwards C. And one of the ways that people told me they remember it is that when there's a dot in it too, it coughs so hard it turned itself around. So if that helps you, great. It's a backward C. If that helps you, great, but it's just it's a CH sound. Okay, and here's your final cough. It's just cough unfolded. So if you look up here, think about if you took the letter and you went straight down and you unfolded it, it could look something like this. Now, it looks like a Dalet, okay, right? If you look at this, it looks like a Dalet. There's even this little tiny thing here. It's not quite of a dent, but some people say it looks like a dent. But this is the good news. How do you know it's a cough and not a Dalet? Well, the first way is what? This final cough only comes at the end of a word. Okay. So, and the second test is it's below the line. So if all the letters are on one line, your final cough is going to go below the line. Okay. So that's how you know it's a cough and not a Dalet. Okay. And here's our Sadi. And the thing that I wanted to point out is what we were talking about at pronunciation. I'm going to have you do the TS, Sadi, Sadiq. Okay. Some people and in older schools, they teach TZ, but just try it yourself. Try to do TZ together. Tis. It's hard, right? S is easier for us because like we have tournaments. You know how we have mints at the end. So for English speakers, we already have some basements at the very end. We have TS, MENTS, adornments. We're used to the TS. We just don't usually have it at the beginning of a word. But TZ is harder to say. But you may have some people. In fact, I think I met a German speaker and his TZ was pretty pronounced. So his Sadiq was, I can't even do it. He's like you could Sadiq. Like he really, you could hear that Z. Either pronunciation is okay and doesn't change the meaning of the word. And that's the litmus test for Hebrew. If you pronounce it in a small range and it doesn't change the meaning of the word, it's correct. It's just then a vocal difference. But if you said Tadzi or something and didn't put that S in there, I would say it's wrong. Or just did Sa not T, or Z, za, D, no T in the front, then I would say it's not correct. So it's TS, I think, is easiest for English speakers. Does that make sense? Everyone okay so far?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, kneeling, or some people say it's a big Y, someone's saying yay. Again, some people say it's the parent and the kid, and the parent's looking at the kid, but they're kneeling. Okay, again, final sadi is standing. Take the sadi and just unfold it straight and long, and then you have the final. And again, the final letters, you're not, except for with a very few exceptions, there's not going to be any vowels underneath there. That's going to end the letter. Okay, here is fe and pay. And I always had the hardest time with these because, like, I don't even know how to describe what that looks like. I've had kids tell me different things, like it's supposed to be a face, like if you had the dot here, it's pay, right? And that kind of looks like a face. There's his hair, there's his nose, and there's his, I don't get it. I don't see it. So it's just Faye. It's just one of the ones that I had to learn. I don't know if you guys can catch this one or not. I mean, but when you write it, it's like a cough. It's just you have an extra piece in the middle, but it's just Faye. F, either F, or when you say it, F-E, Faye. So it's just Faye. And it's a soft, there's no plosive. Final Faye, okay. One of the ways that we teach the kids sometimes is we say it's standing room only for the final letters. It's tall and straight right here. But again, this one, you just really unfolded the letter. That middle's still there. It looks like when you were to draw it, it would be a long, very long resh with this little Faye part. So whatever works for you. It's not plosive. It's just Faye. So Sefer Torah, if we're talking about the written Torah, the written Bible, we would say Sefer. That means written. And that's the end. Faye is in there. Sefer. That's the F sound that you hear in Sefer. Okay. So we already looked. Mem, Tav, Aleph, Hey, Noon. I should ask you guys this. Resh, Lamed, Dalid, Shin, because we always do Shin first, and Mem. Now remember, these letters that we did are in order of most. So if you need to go back and really hit a letter, remember, weak ones are the ones you get the most. There are 400, a little over 400 words, 400 different words in the Torah. And 100 of them are used most commonly. So the same thing with how many letters are used commonly. We're going to look at how many look at the words first that are used most commonly. Okay, Resh, Lamed, Dalid, Shin, and final Mem. Again, final Mem is not a samic. You know that because Mem is flat and sits on its seat, where samic is round like a circle. Okay, weak 3 letters is bat, because it's got the ball in it. Kaf, because it has the ball in it. We have het, vav, and final vav. Final noon. Okay, Sadi, Gimel, Samek, Pei, Fei. Ayin, Tet. That's final noon up there. Sorry. Bat, or this is Vet because there's no ball, Yod, and this is your Ak, which, like I said, I might start taking that out. Okay, Kof, Sin is the first one. I did it right. Kaf doesn't have anything in it, and Sadi. Okay, those are our letters. Okay, and our finals is Kaf, final Kaf, Sadi, final Sadi, Fei, final Fei. Okay, now this is where we need a victim. So I don't know who would like to try first, but would someone try to, can someone try to read either this first section or the first line of letters and tell me what they are here? Anyone want to try it?
I'll go. Which line?
this first line right here. Tell me what the letters are here. And I don't know if the one that starts with the,
Zayin,
yes.
Gimel, Sameh, Fei, Pei, I think.
Yes.
Ayin, Ayin,
Yes.
Tet,
Yeah.
Vet, Yod.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Now I'm going to put someone else on the spot. If you had an A sound to this line, what would the letter sound like? Can someone add an A sound to all these for me?
Say.
Okay.
Gay.
Yep.
Say.
Mm-hmm.
Fay.
Mhm.
Pay. Say. Tay.
Yep.
They. Yay.
Okay, so let's just fix a couple. This one is iron. So that would just be what, Donald?
A.
Yeah, just be an A sound. Okay. And then
That's the other one that you wanted to fix.
I can't remember. Zay, gay, say, fay, pay, a, tay, they, yay. I think you did it. I thought there was one other one, but those are the A's. Okay, perfect. Tov Mayod. Okay. Does someone else want to do the second line? Just read first of all the second line. So just tell me what they are first. Anyone brave?
That's Resh,
Okay.
Lamed, Dalit, Shin or Sin? No, that's Shin.
Yes.
And then is that final mem?
Yep.
And then okay, I'm lost now. Sorry.
Okay. Do you remember what this one was right here?
Is that bet?
That's vet. But now we're going to put the ball on it. So it makes it what?
Bet?
Yes.
Okay. And then is that cough?
Yes.
Okay. And that's Dalit?
Nope.
Oh, no,
This is like a house, but it's closed up. This is the gargle one.
Haf?
Het. Yeah.
Bet. Sorry.
That's okay.
And then is that Vav?
Yes, that's Vav.
And
that I believe is supposed to be final noon, guys.
final noon soffit. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the final noon soffit is one of the finals. Okay. So I don't know. We have one person that didn't read yet. I don't know who went, if it was Naomi or Yatina. Do you want to try this line, or if not, I can do it. We're going to add the ah to these sounds on this second line here.
Ra. La.
Yeah.
Da.
Yeah.
Sha.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be this is a silent, this is the final M.
Yes, good catch. So there's no A sound after the and most of the finals, except for one exception normally, there's no vowels too. Okay, good catch. Okay.
Ba.
Mm-hmm.
Ka.
Mm-hmm.
Ha.
Ha.
Ba. Ha. Ba.
Okay. Well,
this is another final, so there's
noon
vowels.
soffit. So no sound there. There'd be no na. If it was a noon, it'd be na. Okay. So and then I'll just do this last line quick. Ma, ta, ah again because the aleph is a silent. Ha and na. Okay. So that's how we are there. Now I need to show you. I want to do that, but I'm running out of time. Okay, let me just do a couple of these quick. So the heurics are or e, heuric. so they're E's, like a mouse is under your chair, E, or E, really long. So Z, G, C, Phi, P, E, because again, iron is silent, T, V, Ye, Re, Li, D, She, again, final, so nothing there. B, Key. You're going to do lots of key. He, V, final noon, doesn't have anything. Me, T, E, he, and ni. So that's what it sounds like with the E's. And I'm not going to go into the U's because there's something I wanted to do.
So question very quickly.
Yes, go ahead.
So if you have the tet and the taf and you add the shirik, you pronounce it the same.
The tet and the taf, yes, you pronounce it the same. Exactly.
Thanks.
So when we get to grammar more and when you see some words, you'll see there's a thing called the doubling to gesh. And so you'll see that in one, but not the other. And I'm guessing in the ancient days, that was one of the reasons they had two different letters, because you can't double a letter if you can't add a dot to it and they didn't have any pronunciation. That's my personal guess, but I've never had a Hebrew scholar tell me that is for sure. But that's great insight. That is true. Otherwise, okay, now you have these slides, and this is K as in king, S as in sin, and so Ch as in chutzpah or chala too, but not like chala. It's not like some people say it that way, but it's more chutzpah. That's a better chutzpah. It's the baby form of chet. Okay, I guess, is that a good way? For instance, let me do this is ka, cham. This on line 2, the first letter is ka, cham. So do you see how it's ka, cham? It's that ch is a little bit milder. Okay. And then the third word in is ka mocha. So do you see it's not kamocha? It's not as I did it the ka too hard, but ka mocha, it's not as crazy. So we'll get into this more. So I just wanted to let you know you're doing well, but I wanted to really show you something first. Okay, share this tab instead. Okay, so there is I think a really great way to review Hebrew. And I don't like people to learn it this way first, because if you don't learn the ins and outs when you move on, you have to go back and try to find it. But now that you kind of know it and you really want to get the vowel sounds and the letters like really down pat, I think this is a great way to do it. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. And I just wanted to show you too that I did leave a link in the classroom. I hope we're not going to get an ad, but maybe we will, because I got it ready. But you know, YouTube now. Okay. Let's see if I can. Okay. This guy,
First of all,
he
I'd like
looks
to
so
welcome
tired.
Each and every one of you to this
Let me go live
session, with Chinese being the first. But
okay.
By the way, Lingo's.
Okay, I just want to show you how he
my
does it.
silly little gimmicks
Okay.
is based on something inherent.
Okay, so the reason why I want to show you him is because he does have some gimmicks and they really work. And he's huge on repetition. So for instance, let's go back one line. Okay. Hold on a second. Okay, here.
It's called a plosive.
Okay. Okay. So then he'll add like letters. So he'll have you do something list. He'll say, this is a B, and then he'll have a vowel at the end. This is a ba. This is a na. This is a ba. This is a ga. this is a ba. So if you, this is a t, this is a ta, and then he'll add different vowels to it. So, and he goes over it over and over and over again. And I find it gets kind of sing-songy and repetitive, but it also really helps. So if you want something to take a look at and see if this method, in fact, here, when you get to here, let me see if I can show you.
This would be se. This would be tse. Se, tse. Almost sounds the same. Se, tse. Remember,
And this is more
one
tse,
is like
but-
the middle of a pretzel.
But
This
it-
would be
He puts the vowel
Yeah.
underneath it and you
This
practice the
would-
vowels. So, does anybody have any questions on that? I hope I didn't confuse you. I just think that he's really good he just mixes things up and you go through and you just practice it and he goes through all the vowels. But he does do things a little bit differently. So if it confuses you, then stop. Okay. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on that? No. Okay, I'm going to stop recording then.